Hi, boys and girls, you have made it. Day 10, the very last packet in your folder. I am very proud of the good work that you've done. I want this day to be the very best day. Now, day 10 is a very, very important day, and you're actually gonna need your mom and dad's help for most of it. Let me show you why. After we do the very beginning, the work looks very different from the other work we've been doing. It says Berean Baptist Academy first grade readiness assessment. So this is a test, this is a paper that Mrs. Derry would do with you in our classroom if we were in school right now. This paper just shows me the things that you've learned, shows me the things that you've learned that have really stuck in your brain and you've been using, and it showed me, oh, you kind of forgot some things. And it's not a really big stressful test. It's nothing you have to worry about. This is just going to show Mrs. Derry if you're ready to do all this kind of work and more in first grade. And you're going to definitely need some help because there's some things you're going to have to read out loud to your mommy and your daddy, and they're going to mark on the paper if you were able to do them or if you just missed a few. And it's okay if you missed a few. No one is perfect. Only Jesus was perfect, and we are not, and we need him. So it is okay if you make a mistake on this paper. Don't worry at all. This is just going to show Mrs. Derry the things that have stuck in your brain, the things that have been forgotten in your brain, the things that maybe I need to make sure I teach a little bit more of when you get to come back to K-5, and some of the things that the first grade teachers might have to work a little bit more on when they review kindergarten with you when you start first grade. It is so exciting. I want you to be more excited about this paper than anything else. So don't fear and don't worry. Remember, God doesn't want us to do those things. Just be excited. Just do your best. You are super smart. I miss you so much, and I'm very proud of you. Now, this is a lot in this packet. Your mommy and daddy might want to take some breaks when they do this with you. They might want to do some today and some tomorrow. The plan was to do this on Friday, but your mom might have to do it on Friday and a little bit on Saturday and maybe a little bit on Monday and turn it in on Tuesday. But as long as we get all of it done, that's all that matters. Now, let's go rewind a little bit to the beginning. The cover sheet is the same kind of cover sheet you've had all these 2 weeks, from day 1 and day 2 all the way to day 10. You're going to write the word 10, 10, map, map, lip, lip. Right here, you're going to read this story, and then there's 2 questions. And they're going to ask you questions about the story. There's even a number word in the story. Right here at the bottom, read the sentence, trace the sentence, write the sentence. And if you look right here, some of our reading groups have been talking about this little mark at the top. Remember, that is called an apostrophe. Say apostrophe. Apostrophe. You say apostrophe. And an apostrophe looks like a comma. The comma usually goes on that red carpet like a period. Remember, the period says stop. The comma said, oh, slow down and then finish and stop when you get to the period. The apostrophe means we have to say an S after it. Let is the word, and then there's an apostrophe S. So it says let's play. Look at that. 2 special sounds. I had to circle both of them. Pull, A. Play. This is a tricky word. It says cards. Cards. It's the word card with an S at the end. Some words, when they have an S on the end, you need this apostrophe. But some words, when there's an S on the end, you don't. And the S at the end of this word, it means it's not one card. It's more than one card. It's a bunch of cards. On the back, we're going to do our number warm-up. we're going to write the numbers that are missing, count how many dots. We're going to measure by how many cubes, and then we're going to do addition, just like we've done every day. Now let's go step by step through the first grade readiness assessment. The very first and the most important things are to write down the day that your mommy or your daddy gives you this assessment. So they'll write down the day. They'll write down who gave you this assessment. It'll either be Mrs. Derry at school if we have time to come back, because I also want to do this again at school if we get to come back. But just in case we don't, we're going to say your mom and your dad, so they can write their name on here. Don't write their name for them. I want the person who gives this test to you to write their name on it. I'd like it to not be grandma or babysitter. I really would like it to be mommy or daddy, but you trust mommy and daddy and do what mommy and daddy say, because that is what is best for you. Then right here, your name, and write down your birthday. Now, number 1 says, the student can say the following vowels and letters and the vowel and letter sounds. And so what they're going to do is underneath each one, if you can say the long sound of O for open, your mommy's going to put a Y for yes. I hope I didn't write it backwards. I didn't. It's a little messy, but it's not backwards. And if you don't know it, it's okay. Your mom will just put an N for a no. And then right here, number 2, the student can read the following 1 and 2 vowel words. Now, it is okay if you need to mark vowels. That is okay. After you do that, read them to your mom or your dad. If you got all of them right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then your mom or your dad's going to put a 10. If you miss one, your mom and dad will put a 9. This would be a great time to just get up and do like 10 jumping jacks to get some wiggles out. Then come back and do this page. This one says, the student can read the following special sound words. So we know that it's okay if we have to circle a special sound and then mark the vowels. That is okay, because if you can read it after you do that, or if you can read it without having to do that at all that matters is that you can read that word. So when you finished marking and circling, after you've read them, however many you got right, your mom and dad are going to write that number right there. Right here, the student should read the story. So you're going to read this story to your mom and your dad. And if there's a word that you don't know, mommy and daddy can just put a line through it, and then they can count up how many of the words you got right and how many that you missed. It's okay if you don't get all of them. And mom and dad, if you're finding that there's a lot that they're missing, break the story up into sentences. Give them the first 2 sentences, take a break. Come back, do 2 more sentences, take a break, or do another part of this paper, maybe a number part. Maybe that part of their brain just needs a break. Let them get some numbers done, come back. If the whole story is overwhelming, just stop, right to the side. The story was overwhelming, and that's okay. That's good information. This is just about information. This is not going to be a grade on their report card for kindergarten. It will not. The next thing we're going to do, boys and girls, is circle the comprehension level based on the questions and answers from below. Make notes on the side if needed. This is another one for mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy are going to ask you these 3 questions. And if you know the answers really, really fast, they're going to circle this. If you don't really know how to answer the questions, they'll write this. And if it's someplace in the middle, mommy and daddy will know what to circle. Right here, mommy and daddy are going to ask you if you can say your days of the week. If you can say the months of the year. If you can start at number 12 and stop at number 32 counting, and then start at 88 and finish at 100 counting. And if you can count by 10s to 100, and I know you guys can do that. Right here, we're going to see if you can tell what these coins are, what's their name, and if you can remember how many cents they are. And if you think, oh, Miss Derry, I know what the name of this coin is, I just can't remember how many cents it is. It's okay. It's 2 different things. You write down what you know. And if you don't know the other part, mom and dad will note that for me. Remember, this is not a big deal. This is just showing Mrs. Derry what you've remembered and some things that maybe you just need a little more practice with. Now on the back, you need to name these shapes for your mom and dad. Now, I can't say the names of the shapes just in case you're watching. So mom and dad, for these 3D shapes, it is not a circle, a square, a triangle, or a tube. It's not those. And I could say what they are, but I need the boys and girls to pause right now. And then mom and dad, it's a sphere, a cube, a pyramid, and a cylinder. And we've gone over this in class, but we've been gone a long time. All right, boys and girls, you're gonna tell your mommy and daddy what these shapes are called. Right here, you're gonna do the addition and subtraction. Now, subtraction is not something we've been doing in school. Subtraction is when I take away a number. I am not adding them together, I'm taking them away. When it's addition, I have a plate of cookies. I'm pretending it's a plate of chocolate chip cookies. And addition means you already have 3 cookies and I give you 1 more and that's 4. But if we're doing subtraction, we're taking cookies off the plate. We're saying Miss Derry has 3 cookies on her plate and Titus took 1 away. So 3 take away 1 would mean I only have 2 left. That is subtraction. See this little line right here? We know that for addition, that plus means we're adding them together. That right there, that line, that's called a minus. It would say 6 minus 2 or 6 take away 2. So you had 6 cookies and you took away 1, 2. That's how many you would have left. You're gonna do that for your mom and dad. And now I just told you really fast how to do it, okay? So it's okay if you miss up on some of these. We haven't learned it in class. This is just gonna show Miss Derry who remembered it super fast and who needs a little bit more practice before they're ready for that. On the back, it says, number recognition, circle the numbers that are incorrect. You are gonna tell your mommy and daddy what these numbers are. And when your mommy and daddy point to them like Miss Derry points, if you say the number correctly, they're not gonna do anything. If you say it incorrectly, if you say it wrong, if you make a little bit of a mistake, they'll just circle it, and that way Miss Derry knows you need help remembering those numbers. Right here. These are the number words we've been working on for all of these packets. I don't want you to look at your number words that are on the red and white paper I gave you. I want to see if you can just read those number words to your mommy and daddy and say the numbers. And then mom and dad are gonna circle it if you miss it, and that just shows Miss Derry you need help remembering that one. You know how sometimes 8 is hard to remember, things like that. Very bottom here, it says the student should write the before and the after number. So it's kind of like a sandwich or an Oreo cookie, and we've given you the cream. You gotta remember what that number is though. Mommy and daddy can't tell you, and I can't tell you what this number is. If you remember this number and write the number that comes before it, and then write the number that comes after it. Let's go to the next page. I told you it's a lot. It's gonna be too much to do at one time. It really, really is. This, I think, is gonna be super easy for you guys. It all says that the students should tell you the time on the clock. So if you can read all of these times, then that is great. If you miss one of them, mommy and daddy will know how to write how many you got correct right there. And then at the bottom, there's a whole bunch of instructions that mommy and daddy are gonna read to you. You don't have to read these things. They're gonna say, number 1, write your name. You're gonna write your name with your very best, slow and steady handwriting, working really hard to make sure those letters look the way they're supposed to. Number 2, write the numbers, and mommy's gonna tell you a number to write here. She's gonna say write 9, 13. She's not gonna let you see the numbers. That's a secret. 9, if you remember your brain, 9, 13, 26, 34, 44, 57, 68, 70, not 17, 70, 81, 92. And that's all Mom and Dad can say. And you are going to write down those numbers. And then right here, you're going to write some words. And these words all only have one vowel. It's kind of like the words we've been practicing right here. Your mom and dad are going to say, win, get, ram, pod, bus, and can. And you are going to write those words down. And then mom and daddy are going to say, okay, turn to this blank one. We're going to use this blank one. And mommy and daddy are going to say, draw a picture of a house. And after you draw the house, they're going to say, make grass, sky, and sun. And then that's it. You're done with all of this work. I told you this last day, it's very different, it's very long. You'll have to probably break it up into a couple of days, but it's very important. It just shows Mrs. Derry the things that you've remembered and you can do really easy, and the things that, oh, they're not so easy, they're a little hard, Mrs. Derry, and that's just going to help me for next year. I love you. You've done great work, and I'm very, very proud of you, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.